and then I went to India after that, chasing the Dalai Lama, So I'm just gonna go meet the Dalai Lama. Of course, anyone can do that. Surely that's easy, right? Yeah. Yeah. And then, but the first course I did there was just an introduction course. And I think there were still like 70 students from all over the world, mostly Western, Europeans, Americans, Canadians, Kiwis, Aussies, but also a few Indians, Chinese, other Asian countries.
Interesting.
Um, yeah, it was really an amazing experience, and I
So
learned a lot.
I want to ask you something because and tell you something. One of
Yeah.
my friends, Byron, he's a yoga instructor, and
Mm,
he found his way to Bali, and he's found success in Bali as a
mm,
yoga instructor. Like he's a known yoga instructor. When you say people from all over the world come and see this, that's kind of what he's done. And your journey is somewhat similar to what his name is Byron. What Byron kind of has
yeah.
gone through. So is it the Eastern like is it attractive? I mean, what is it about that area like where you're at and where he went
Mm,
that
that
sucks you
attracts
in?
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my spiritual journey, I guess it began with books when I was a teenager. And I sort of, I gravitated to the Eastern philosophies. But then when I was in LA, there's a huge spiritual community in LA, as I'm sure
Mhm.
you know. But there's this sort of Western pseudo guru thing going on, and it's all, I call them the Namaste hipsters,
Yeah.
and
That's
like the
cool.
dreadlocks and and it doesn't feel real. It doesn't connect with me in a way. And this was the issue with me when I had when I had my betrayals and I was feeling like at my lowest ebb and not sure what
Mm.
to do. I was like, I can't go to like some hippie commune. I wanted the real deal. And I
Mhm.
feel like in India, Nepal, these are people that are untainted by the West, and
Mhm.
I know that there are these yogis that spend years and years in caves in solitude, meditating just by themselves. And these, again, the Buddhist High Lamas that have deep insight and have, maybe lived, if you believe in reincarnation, all these different lives, and they have these profound wisdoms ready to share. And I thought, okay, I want to tap into something real.
Mhm.
And I keep hearing about these enlightened beings. There's people out there who are enlightened. Well, come on then, show me one. I want to meet one. I want to meet an enlightened person. I'm sick of hearing about these guys. Oh,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so I was really going to try and find the source, to really tap into something real.
Okay.
Um, and I guess, I've been to Bali again. It has a little bit of hipsterism there. I wasn't there very long, so perhaps didn't get out of the touristic areas. That's quite possible. But no, I was going for the source, and
Okay.
actually that led me to the Dalai Lama eventually,
Oh
which
wow.
comes later in the book, when I
Well,
had the
okay. So you went to this monastery. How long were you there for?
Off and on, quite a few months. I had a 5 month visa for Nepal, and I stayed there for the whole 5 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and it wasn't all in the monastery. I think I did three courses in a row. So again, these are introductory courses. So the first course I did was how to meditate, and then there was one called dealing with strong emotions. Um, and I can't really remember what the third one is off the top of my head. But these are all with Western teachers. So my teacher was an Australian nun. Amazing. I couldn't believe it. I'd gone halfway around the world to study spirituality in a Tibetan tradition, expecting a Tibetan teacher. I end up with an Aussie, of course. But she was
That's
amazing.
crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy, but I couldn't have wished for a better teacher. I mean, she really was able to touch me in a way that I'd never really experienced before. Just kind of cracked me open a little bit, well, a lot actually, um, which set the path. So yeah, it was 5 months in Nepal in all, and then I went to India after that, chasing the Dalai Lama. So I'm just gonna go meet the Dalai Lama. Of course, anyone can do that. Surely that's easy, right? But I did. Yeah, I got to meet
You
him.
met him.
Yeah, briefly. I mean, not in a personal one-to-one meeting, but um, I went to his public teachings on his birthday at his temple in Dharamsala. And again, this is all in the book. It's quite just the way it all came about was pretty fascinating. But I got right up and was able to have a eye contact and a moment with him, and it did not go the way that I was expecting, and it was very well. I don't want to give it away, but it was yeah, it was the opposite of what I was hoping for, but the lesson came all the same, if that makes
Interesting.
sense.
He seems to have a sense of humor.
Yeah, he likes to laugh. He likes to
Yeah.
laugh. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's kind of so you met Dalai Lama, you're in India now, and
Mm.
you're 5 months into it now, right? 5 months?
Yeah, yep,
Okay.
yep.
So how you must have savings to do this because you got to work or you have to have savings.
Yeah, well, I was very lucky in the fact that when I was working in the music industry, I worked on some TV shows um, and did some title music, incidental music for some TV shows. This is around the time that reality TV was just arriving.
Okay.
So actually, the first ever music job that I got was Big Brother, and it
Oh
was
wow.
yeah the UK version. I didn't do the title music; that was Oakenfold. But again, this came from my BBC connection. So I was working at the BBC. I'd left to set up my own production studio. I was moving into music, and producer of Big Brother, the very first Big Brother in the UK, called a friend of mine, well, a contact of mine at the BBC, and said, "Look, man, we're trying to find some voting tension music for the voting out scene. We've tried all the libraries. We just can't find what we want. Do you have any clues?" And he just gave them my name out of the blue. And so I got this phone call. I was like, damn, I got to make some tension music for this. I had no clue that it was going to be a massive show or anything like that. And so, get my little synth out and I hit a key and it's like this drone. And then I get another synth and I put on top like dun 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 dun. And that was all I did. That was all I did. And I sent it to them and they fucking loved it. And it was the tension vote out music for the whole of Big Brother.
I
Um,
love it.
so that was my first music gig. And yeah, and you get royalties for stuff like that. So every time
That's
your music
awesome.
gets played on TV, it collects a royalty. And so I did maybe
So,
like a handful of reality shows that have kept me afloat.
oh, okay. So you have that security in a sense. So you're in India. What happens next internally for you? What's going on now? What are you thinking?
I like internally, I'm struggling for a sense of connection.